This is MOREFM. It's 14 past 8. It is a worry, the swine flu. And, it's a funny thing too with the way the world's changed and technology and communications, the mass media. See, I know my kids, one of my wee girls is really nervous about it because she's 10 years old. So when you hear people are dying from swine flu and it's in New Zealand, it's in Christchurch, you go far out. And it is quite upsetting. Well, one man that's been affected by it is Darren Wallace. He joins us on the line now. Morning, Darren.
Good morning, Simon. How are you today?
Very well, mate. Thank you.
Hi there, Darren. Gary McCormick here. How you doing? We just thought we'd do to check in with you because you probably haven't seen that many people in recent days.
No, I appreciate you guys calling. Lovely to hear from you.
Well, look, mate, tell us the story. How did you come by the virus in the first place, or these symptoms, or what it is they think you've got?
Well, we had a family trip to Los Angeles, one of those trip of a lifetime type things where you stay for 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
And we were over there for 3 weeks, and just happens that we were on flight NZ1 last Saturday back to New Zealand with the students who'd been to Mexico.
So have you shown any symptoms yourself of colds, flus, or anything else?
Well, yeah, we're sort of on the back end of flu at the moment, but we contracted flu or whatever it is we have well before we got on the flight. We sort of endured it while we were carrying on with the theme parks, etc.
Right.
So that was of cause of concern to the public health unit because they said, well, it actually put you at a bit of a low ebb once you got on that flight, so you were quarantined.
Right. Now, you were told that when you arrived at Auckland, was it? Or did you get all the way home before this quarantine business was introduced to you?
Oh, no. I mean, I don't think you'll find even the students, let alone us, knew anything about swine flu. We heard nothing about it in the States until well after we were home. The first we heard of it was on the Sunday night on the network news. And when we heard our flight being called out, you can just imagine how we felt.
Oh, you must have felt sick. So,
sick, yes, Simon.
Well, you must...
Bad choice of words, mate. If you don't mind me saying so.
Sick to
Good one, Simon.
sick to the stomach, Darren. Now, let me ask you this. I did notice last night it looked pretty much like they were taking a swab from a woman up her bugle, and it looked like the instrument they used was about 117 foot long. Did you get one of those up the snoz?
Oh, no. There were two choices of swabs. One could go straight down your nasal passage or one down your throat.
Yeah.
So we picked the throat one. It was the easier option. But you know what? We had our family doctor actually come round to our house, and I haven't had a family doctor call round home for about 30 years.
Yeah.
And that was a real privilege.
Yeah, that is true. And so you haven't got the results of these tests yet?
No, it's a 48-hour turnaround. Believe it or not, our swabs are sitting down with you in Christchurch. So I was wondering if you could, pull a few strings.
We'll have a word. Given it was a throat swab, I'm happy with that. Now, can we ask this though, Darren? Because obviously we've heard many people in New Zealand, 100 odd are in your situation, they're quarantined. As briefly as you can, what does quarantine mean in terms of physical contact with others? Nothing.
We're not allowed outside our house at all. The TV and that were here the other day, and they could only talk to us, over the telephone and filming through the window, so we can't leave our home. We got the kids to put a nice little sign up on the door to say, do not enter, so that's the story. And
what about grocery shopping? You must be running low. How do you get your supplies? Do they drop it on the doorstep like the movies and run?
Yeah. Well, you know what, and this is a little bit of a scary factor. As I said, we didn't know about it till over 24 hours after we got home. And, of course, when we got home, our pantry was bare. Penelope's been out shopping. I went down to the service station, filled up with gas, got the photos printed, that sort of thing. So we're actually stocked up okay. But I guess of what is concern is that we have been in contact with the community. So even though we're quarantined now, we're quite keen to hear those results.
Have they given you any advice on what does say you didn't have food? Have they come to you and said, look, if you need food, we'll send people around, or what provisions they got in place for people like yourself?
Oh, they just, we've already had friends turn up with chicken soup and that, and basically they just leave it at the front door and then run for their lives. So
you must feel a bit like a leper, do you, Darren?
Yeah, pretty much. Unclean.
Yeah.
Well, all in all, you must have just about had a guts full of this by now. And you'd be really looking forward to...
I'm sitting here. I've got 4 hours of video footage from the holiday to edit, so I'm okay.
Good, and you've probably got stars in their eyes to watch too, Darren, if I'm not mistaken.
Stars in their eyes, Simon. Absolutely.
Good man.
Yep.
Well, Darren, listen, we really hope the results go well today for you and you haven't got it, and for your family, and very much appreciate your time.
Oh, that's okay, guys. Nice to talk to you, Gary and Simon. Have a good day.
Thanks, Darren.
Cheers, Darren. Bye-bye.
What a nice man.
Well, you'd have to be patient.
Oh, you would be. Well, you'd be very, very nerve-wracking too, wouldn't it? Although the good thing,
Well, they've got good antiviral drugs here in New Zealand, so it should be fine.
That's a good thing. 21 past 8. This is More FM with The Script.